Imagine waking up one day and saying, "Today I want to learn Japanese." And instead of spending years studying, you simply install an app in your brain. In seconds, you're already fluent. Sounds like science fiction, right? Or more controllable. What if your brain had an app store? What if someone else could decide what you install? Or what gets deleted? In this video, we're going to explore an idea that sounds impossible, but might not be.
Tangible.
We'll talk about technologies already in development, like Neuralink, building bridges between mind and machine. Is this the next step in human evolution, or a road with no return? We'll examine the benefits of an enhanced mind, the risks of a connected brain, and the ethical dilemmas that could redefine what it means to be human. Because maybe the future isn't about having the world in the palm of your hand, but having it installed line by line deep within your mind.
Let's think about this. Today, we use apps for everything, from learning languages to meditating, organizing tasks, or editing photos. Now, imagine those apps aren't on your phone, but in your head. You could install a cooking app and instantly know how to make complex dishes without reading a recipe. Or a parkour app, and your body would automatically know how to move precisely. Like in The Matrix, when Neo learns Kung Fu just by connecting for a few seconds. Tired of not understanding algebra? Install an advanced math app, and your brain rewires the necessary connections. Nervous in public? An emotional app adjusts your biological response to stress. You could even block traumatic memories or replay past experiences like watching a series. We could have apps for creativity, focus, languages, coding, even apps that simulate mental states like happiness, flow, or total calm. Some would install skills, others would install pleasures. What if someone created a mental travel app that made you feel like you were on a beach without ever leaving home? This kind of technology could turn us into optimized versions of ourselves, faster, wiser, more focused. Maybe we could even share apps. Got a friend who's amazing at chess? He sends you his mental plugin, and now you're amazing too. But of course, a mind with apps isn't just a tool, it's a new kind of identity. How much of who we are depends on what we've learned, and how much on what's been installed. And while all of this sounds fascinating, it's not just theory. People are already working to make it real. In the next section, we'll explore the tech that might take us there, and how close we really are. To make something like this happen, we'd need a direct bridge between our brain and technology. And even though it sounds far off, that bridge is already being built. It's called BCI, Brain-Computer Interface. Neuralink, Elon Musk's company, is developing a chip implanted in the skull that can send and receive neural signals. In other words, it connects your mind to a device. They've already made monkeys play video games using only their thoughts. Sounds crazy, but it's real. These interfaces could one day transmit information directly to the brain, without screens, keyboards, or even language. Learning something would feel more like downloading a file than studying. And Neuralink isn't alone. Universities like Stanford and MIT and companies in Japan, Germany, and China are also working on similar devices. There are even prototypes of non-invasive devices that use external sensors to read brain signals, though less precisely. Startups like Synchron are betting on safer implants that don't require deep brain surgery. The biggest challenge? The human brain is incredibly complex. It has about 86 billion neurons, each with thousands of connections. Reading and writing data accurately without disrupting vital processes is one of science's greatest obstacles. There's also the matter of speed. For a brain app to work as imagined, the data transfer rate between chip and neurons would need to be extremely high. We've made progress, but we're still far from full fluidity.
Still, the first steps are already here. Today, BCIs help people with paralysis move robotic arms or type using thought alone. And if tech history has taught us anything, it's that what seems impossible today might be normal tomorrow. In the next section, we'll explore the concrete benefits mental apps could offer and how they could transform our daily lives.
Now, imagine these brain apps weren't just possible, but accessible. What benefits could we unlock? First, learning. Today, learning a new language can take years. With a mental app, you could install complex knowledge in minutes. History, math, physics, even philosophy. Effortless, personalized, ongoing education. Knowledge would stop being a privilege and become an instant right. We could also enhance cognitive abilities. An app to boost working memory, sharpen focus, or reduce mental noise in critical moments. Like having a mental assistant optimizing your attention in real time. Imagine entering focus mode before every exam, presentation, or life decision. In medicine, the possibilities are massive. Alzheimer's patients could use apps to rebuild lost memories. Those with depression could fine-tune brain chemistry. Chronic pain might be managed with mental software, improving lives for millions. We could treat phobias, anxiety, or even balance neurochemistry without invasive drugs. At work, you could install specific skills for each project, graphic design, accounting, coding, and uninstall them when done to free mental space. The idea of a profession could disappear. We become hyper-skilled generalists, adaptable to any industry. In relationships, you could sync emotions with your partner, understand each other more deeply, or install mental filters to increase empathy. Emotional communication could
maybe I
reach
just
a
needed
whole
to.
new level. And that's not all. You could have apps for creativity, artistic inspiration, idea generation. You could literally turn on your muse when needed. Sounds incredible, right? But remember, with great power come great risks. And if something can modify your mind, it can also break it. Next, let's talk about those risks. Because if you can install software in your brain, someone else might install it without asking.
But now it's time to ask, what could go wrong? Really wrong. Imagine your mind connected to a network, like the internet. If you can download an app, someone else could send you one without consent. A brain virus, a mental hack. Someone could alter your memories, emotions, even control your choices, and you wouldn't know it happened. Then there's dependency. What if an entire generation relies on apps to think, decide, or remember? Are we building stronger brains or lazier minds? We could lose basic abilities like memory, natural creativity, or intuition. And what about inequality? What if only the wealthy can afford these mental upgrades? The gap between the enhanced and everyone else could widen, a new mental elite dominating the rest. Control is another issue. If apps are managed by companies, governments, or AIs, who decides what gets installed? We could see neural censorship, internal propaganda, or emotional surveillance. Imagine your boss reading your thoughts, or an app adjusting your motivation to make you more productive. There's also psychological risk. If you can reprogram your mind to avoid pain, what happens to your ability to learn from it? If you can rewrite your memories, are you still you? And don't forget identity. If you can change your personality more and more through apps, what remains of your true self? All of this leads to a bigger question. Are we ready to handle this much mental power? In the next section, we'll explore the deepest ethical dilemmas this technology might unleash. Because what's at stake isn't just our minds, but our humanity.
Almost philosophical. Beyond the tech and technical risks, there's an even deeper layer. Ethics, the uncomfortable questions, the ones without easy answers. If you can install or delete parts of your personality, are you still your authentic self? Are we human because of what we think and feel, or because of how we got there? And if you delete painful memories, are you healing or running from yourself? Is it okay to reprogram an emotion, a thought, or a belief just because you don't like it? Another dilemma. If everyone can access these enhancements, are we still the same species? Or do we become something else? Post-human? Then there's mental freedom. Where is free will if someone else can install a way of thinking in your mind? How do you protect your thoughts when you don't even know if they're yours? These aren't theoretical problems, they're real, because the line between improving and manipulating is very, very thin. Maybe the most important question isn't, can we do it, but should we? And if we do, how do we make sure we don't lose what matters most? Our consciousness, our memory, our humanity. In the final section, we'll close with a reflection on what this future could mean for all of us.
Imagining a world where we can install apps in our brains isn't just a futuristic fantasy. It's a window into who we might become. Smarter, more capable, but also more vulnerable. The technology that transforms the mind could unlock our full potential or destroy what makes us human. The future isn't written, and the choices we make today will determine whether what we install in our heads becomes a tool or a prison. What do you think? Would you install an app in your brain? If this video made you think, subscribe and leave a like. See you in the next one.